Hi folks, it's Richard from Inclusive Driving. Here we have a driving test video with some analysis. Unfortunately, it wasn't a pass. We had one serious fault at the very end of the test. There were also 6 driving faults. That's what we commonly call minor faults. Without having the rear view and being able to see what's happening around the car, I didn't sit in on this test. It's difficult to pinpoint exactly where these driving faults happened, but I'm watching the video. I've had a good guess at where they happened, but I can't guarantee that that's completely accurate. On the screen now, you'll see a list of the driving faults that were committed, and we'll try and pinpoint as best I can where they happened. So one of them was the vehicle check question. That was either an incorrect answer to the tell me question or an incorrect response to the show me question. And again, without being able to film inside the car and without being present on the test myself, I don't know which of those happened. So this is a really good stopping distance, maybe a tiny bit close. The wide angle lens of the dash cam always distorts things a little, but we're a good distance from that lorry. We can see it's got a right signal on. In a moment you'll see that the lorry straddles 2 lanes just to give the trailer room to swing around the right turn, and the candidate on the driving test keeps a really good distance. Now, the driving fault that was given for positioning lane discipline, I think might have occurred on the second roundabout. We're following signs for Dudley. Now, you don't actually see the next sign for Dudley until you're off this roundabout. So although the candidate moves to the left lane on exit and then moves back to the right lane for the next roundabout, I don't actually see that as being a big issue. Here you can see that we now need the right lane for Dudley. And the candidate does move over to the right lane. So no big issue there. Possibly the driving fault happened on this roundabout where we exit to the left lane, which requires crossing 2 lanes of traffic, which was done safely. But it is much easier to move to the right lane or exit to the right lane. There's no traffic on the left at the moment. But again, as long as mirrors are checked and it's safe to move across, I don't see that as being a big issue. So whether the driving fault occurred there or not, or whether it was somewhere else, I cannot say. After this roundabout, we turn right at some traffic lights. There are a choice of 2 lanes for turning right. If you are definitely turning right after the traffic lights, it does make sense to use the extreme right-hand lane. If no instruction has been given, perhaps it's better to assume that you'll be going straight on and then choose the left of the 2 right turn lanes. So maybe better to position behind the white car unless you've specifically been told you're turning right later on. This might have been the driving fault because as you can see, when we get around the corner, we're not making huge progress in the overtaking lane. The positioning was good around the corner, but here maybe we are in the overtaking lane without a good reason. We're not overtaking at the moment, we're kind of keeping speed. But here we're definitely making progress. So we can justify being in the overtaking lane at this point. So the driving fault for position normal driving possibly happened along this section of road. Again, without the rear view, I can't see what's happening behind and to the left. The candidate does move over to the left though at this point. Maybe we just needed to do that a little sooner. There was a driving fault given for response to traffic lights. I think that occurred at these traffic lights. You'll be able to see that the traffic light is green, however the candidate is still slowing down. So light goes green. We need to pick up the speed a lot sooner. So I think that is possibly where we had the driving fault for response to traffic lights. At this point, we've clearly been told that we are turning right at the next set of traffic lights. So I think using the overtaking lane to set up for that right turn is perfectly appropriate. Although maybe we moved over too early. So perhaps that is where the driving fault for lane discipline occurred, or lane positioning, or normal driving position. These traffic lights turning right are pretty tricky. Visibility of the traffic coming towards you. If you have a look ahead, you can see the traffic is coming around a bend, and visibility is really difficult. So we did a brilliant job at turning right at these traffic lights. We're coming up to a left turn. This, I think, was the driving fault for approach speed to junctions. It's not an easy road to find on the left, and we hadn't got the benefit of the sat-nav screen. I think we slow a little late here. You'll see the speed doesn't drop until the last minute. There wasn't a driving fault for mirror checks, though, or observation there, so quite clearly that wasn't the fault. But I think the approach speed there was a little quick, and that's probably where that driving fault was picked up. So we now go for quite a while without picking up any other driving faults. The next fault picked up is when we come to do the reverse on the right hand side of the road. So fast forward till that point if you want, or sit and watch the road go by. Now it's on this road that we do pull up on the right hand side of the road and reverse 2 car lengths. During the reverse you'll see that no traffic comes towards us, so that's not the problem there. The driving fault was given for observation, so my feeling is it was probably lack of attention to mirrors, lack of attention to blind spots, lack of attention directly through the back window. Difficult to say for certain because I wasn't sitting in on the test and we haven't got a rear view camera in this car, but it's probably down to mirrors or blind spots being checked when reversing. So a very safe move over to the right. So just also to add, the candidate on this occasion was a wheelchair user with a spinal injury, and they are using hand controls, so they are controlling the speed of the car, the accelerator and the brake with their right hand, and they are steering with a steering aid on the steering wheel just with their left hand. So you're about to see where the serious fault was committed. I'm not even going to explain it. And the learner, they couldn't explain it either. But you can see how close to the test centre we were when that serious fault was picked up. If you have a driving test video that you want me to analyse, if you didn't pass your test and you want to understand a little bit more about what happened, then feel free to get in touch with me. My email address is in the description below. We can have a look at your video and we can do a running commentary. You'll need to send me your test report as well so that I can see what driving faults, serious faults, and maybe even dangerous faults were committed on your test. Well, that's all for now. Enjoy the rest of the video, and we'll see you on another video very soon.